All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping headfirst into the absolutely wild and hilarious world of a streamer who's become, well, a literal endless factory for memes.
So, here's the big question we're tackling. How does one guy, just one person, become this bottomless well of internet memes? We're talking about a Korean streamer who's not just popular, he's a full-blown internet phenomenon.
And I'm not exaggerating. One source puts it this way: the number of memes is truly overwhelming. It's so huge, so pervasive that it even has its own name, Code Drip. Think of it as this sprawling, ever-expanding universe of inside jokes and remixed content all revolving around him.
All right, so let's get into it. Let's really break down what makes this human meme factory tick. First off, you've got to understand this didn't happen overnight. We're talking about a career that's over 20 years long. Imagine that. 2 decades of broadcasting means there's this gigantic, sprawling archive of every reaction, every weird moment, just sitting there, ready to be turned into meme gold. And these aren't just inside jokes for his own fans either. No way. His memes have literally escaped the lab. They're all over the place. You'll hear his sound effects on other YouTube channels, you'll see his catchphrases trending on Twitch. It's almost like they become a cheat code for getting a quick laugh online.
So, who is the guy at the center of all this? To really get the memes, you have to get the man himself, the streamer known as Kane.
You can see his journey right here. It's a long one. He started way back in the early 2000s, got famous playing games like King of Fighters, but the real magic happened later. His style changed, became less about just being good at games and more about this bizarre, almost accidental comedy. Now, in the 2020s, he's basically a living source of fan-made content.
And that evolution is so important. See, early on, he was pretty unfiltered, kind of aggressive. But as he got bigger, he had to tone down the swearing. So what happens when he gets super frustrated in a game now? Instead of cursing, he just blurts out these strange, made-up words. And bam, that's where the best memes come from. It's this accidental comedy born from trying to self-censor.
All right, so let's talk about the language itself. How does all that frustration and weirdness actually turn into memes?
Okay, this is probably his most famous one. Agonanon. It's hard to translate perfectly, but it's basically the sound of pure, utter despair. You know, that moment when you just fail spectacularly? It's like saying, "Oh, what a mess," or "Oh, for crying out loud." It's become his signature sound.
And a lot of his other great material comes from something called a mondegreen. This is basically when you mishear something, right? He'll be playing a game, he'll mishear a line of dialogue or a sound effect, and then he'll just confidently repeat his own messed up version. And just like that, a new inside joke is born for the whole community.
Of course, the fans get in on the action too. They've come up with tons of nicknames for him, and each one has a backstory. You've got Nose Monster, which is pretty self-explanatory, but then you have clever ones like Cow and Cheat Key. It's a mashup of Kane and Cheat Key because, like we said, using his clips is like a cheat code for instant comedy.
But here's where it gets really fascinating. Kane isn't really the one making all these memes anymore. He's more like the sun, and his fans are the planets orbiting around him, constantly building and expanding this incredible universe of content.
One of the most popular things they do is something called a change-up video. It's a classic bait and switch. A fan will donate a video. It starts out looking totally normal, maybe a cool music video or a movie scene. It builds up the tension, and then, right at the climax, bam, it cuts to some completely bizarre clip of Kane. The whole point is just to troll him and see him get frustrated on stream.
And believe me, it goes way beyond just simple video edits. The fans' creativity is off the charts. We're talking a whole ecosystem here. They make music remixes, incredible fan art, AI-generated content, and even, get this, fully playable fan-made video games all based on his memes. It's wild.
And lately, they've been using some pretty sophisticated tools. They'll use AI to take his voice and make him sing famous pop songs, and he sounds amazing. They call it history forgery because it's like creating this alternate reality where he's a pop star. Or they'll take an entire episode of an anime and dub over every single character with his AI voice. The result is just surreal, nonsensical, and absolutely hilarious.
So you hear all this, and you might think it's just total chaos, right? A complete free-for-all.
But actually, it's not. The community has come up with its own set of rules to make sure things don't get out of control.
And the biggest rule of all circles around this one idea? Naes Suyong. It literally translates to for domestic use only. Basically, it's a way for the community to label their own memes. If a joke is super niche, really weird, or might just annoy people who aren't in on it, they call it Naes Suyong. It's their way of saying, hey, let's keep this one in-house and not bother other communities with it. It's pretty brilliant self-regulation, actually.
And it's not just the fans. Kane himself has laid down the law on how to export his memes. The policy is really just common sense. Be cool, don't spam other channels, and, most importantly, let the other streamer decide if they think the clip is funny or not. It's all about sharing the fun, not shoving it down people's throats.
So, when you put all these pieces together, what does it all mean? What does this whole Kane phenomenon tell us about what it means to be famous on the internet today?
Well, it seems like he's become something more than just a streamer. He's almost like a platform, or maybe raw material. His personality, his voice, his every reaction, it's all become the clay for this huge collaborative art project that's being sculpted in real time by thousands of his fans. I love this analogy somebody came up with. Kane is like a character in a video game, but it's his fans who are programming all his new special moves. He provides the character model, and they create the combos, the finishers, the whole moveset. They're constantly remixing who he is.
And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question for our digital age. When fans are this involved in co-creating a star's persona, who actually owns it? Who's the real author here? Is it Kane? Or is it the sprawling, chaotic, brilliant meme-verse that his fans have built around him?